Discover the incredible journey of 100 women whose lives were transformed after unspeakable loss. Sarah stood at the window, the scent of freshly baked pies wafting through her small Maplewood home, but today there was no joy in it. The sun was shining, and the streets were alive with the laughter of children playing, yet inside, her heart felt like a heavy stone. 2 years had passed since her husband's tragic accident, and the grief still curled around her like a thick fog, obscuring the vibrant love they once shared. Every corner of her house echoed with memories: his laughter, the way he made pancakes on Sunday mornings, the love that now felt like a cruel ghost. With a sigh, she turned from the window and looked at her 2 young kids, Emily and Jacob. They were like little boats lost at sea, drifting amid waves of their emotions. Some days they would talk about their dad, laughing over shared memories, while on others, their silence screamed louder than words. It felt like their home had become a husk, haunted by what once was. In the close-knit fabric of Maplewood, a place where neighbors greeted each other with warm smiles, Sarah often found solace at the Maplewood Community Center. Here, she wasn't just a grieving widow, she became part of a sisterhood of women who gathered every Wednesday to share their burdens over steaming cups of coffee. Diane, a war veteran flinching at thunder, and Carol, a beloved teacher wrestling with loss, formed a tapestry of resilience, woven together by shared experiences of heartache. Each gathering was a blend of laughter and tears, a reminder that vulnerability could foster healing. But then came the news that ripped through the community like a knife: budget cuts threatened to shut down the very place that had become a sanctuary for many. Panic spread through the room at the community meeting, where voices grew thick with anxiety. Sarah felt the weight of the decision hanging above her. Should she rally the women? Encourage them to fight for the center that meant so much, risking their fragile state? Or should they accept defeat and retreat into the shadows of their grief? Before we continue, a voice broke through: "I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Back in the room, Sarah looked around at the faces before her. They were women who had weathered storms, and now, they were looking to her. The discussion surged like a tide, one moment filled with passionate resolve, the next cascading into rising tensions where old wounds slashed open. Deep-set issues bubbled to the surface, revealing rivalries and hurts that left Sarah feeling isolated, like a lighthouse keeper in a storm. Now, she had to confront not only the town's challenges but her own doubts about the very foundation of their sisterhood. Could they unite in the face of adversity when trust was waning? With a trembling heart, Sarah stood at the precipice of an uncertain future. The community center was more than a building, it was a lifeline, a place where their grief could be transformed into strength. Clenching her fists, she knew she had to ask the question that tugged at all their hearts: what do we truly value, and are we willing to risk everything for it? The room fell silent, all eyes on her, holding the weight of hope and fear. Would they stand together against the storm? Sarah's question hung in the air, thick and heavy. She could almost reach out and touch the mix of fear and uncertainty radiating from the faces around her. Diane shifted in her seat, her fingers fiddling with the edge of her jacket, while Carol stared into her coffee, the once warm smile now replaced by a frown. Are we ready to fight for this? Sarah pressed on, feeling the urgency swell inside her. This place is not just bricks and mortar. It's a piece of us. The words spilled out of her, raw and unfiltered. There was silence, an unsettling hush that swallowed the room. All Sarah could hear was the low hum of the overhead lights, a constant reminder of the weight they were all carrying. But deep down, she could sense a flicker of something changing. Eyes began to meet hers, glimmers of determination wavering behind layers of grief. I can't do this alone," Sarah admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "But together, we might just stand a chance." She watched as a spark ignited in Jacob's blue eyes, a reflection of the courage she hoped to instill in everyone present. Finally, Diane broke the silence. We should fight for it. The center has been our refuge. But we need a plan. Her voice rose with confidence, like a soldier rallying her troops. Carol nodded slowly, a hint of resolve brightening her expression. Others began to murmur in agreement, until the room pulsed with the energy of rising hope. Yes, we can start a petition, one woman suggested. And we can host fundraisers. There are local businesses that might help us. Ideas flowed now, vibrant and swift like a river breaking free after a long winter. Sarah felt the tightness in her chest ease. They were forming a plan, a way to channel their grief into action, a response instead of retreat. But even as the optimism swirled around her, doubt still lingered like an unwanted guest. Would they really pull this off? Would they be able to rally the whole community? As they brainstormed, laughter and camaraderie gave life to the dim room. Emily and Jacob, peeking from the corner with big, curious eyes, grinned as they saw their mom animated and strong. Sarah cherished that feeling, her heart swelling at each infectious burst of laughter shared among the women. Then, someone voiced the unthinkable concern. What if they reject us? A hush fell again, this time even heavier than before. The fear of failure loomed large, turning the atmosphere tense. I've faced rejection before, Sarah said, more to herself than anyone else. I've lost so much, but I've also gained a family in all of you. The words surprised her, echoing with a weight of truth that resonated in the unnerving silence. And if we fight together, even if we don't win, we will stand tall in our truth. Hope and fear danced together in the room, swirling in a grotesque waltz that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. But Sarah's heart beat steadily. The realities of grief would always be there, yet this sudden possibility of movement stirred something deep within her, something that might just be stronger than her sorrow. They decided to meet again, to draw up plans and gather signatures. There was a monumental task ahead, but their spirits were tempered, fortified against the challenges looming in the distance. And just as they began to take a breath, a familiar voice interrupted them. What about the mayor? Sarah's heart skipped a beat. What if we could get his support? A future filled with uncertainty lay ahead. She couldn't help but wonder, was their small community capable of standing against the tide of bureaucracy? Could they rally not just for themselves, but for each other? With a renewed spark igniting the depths of her spirit, Sarah felt the threads of possibility weaving into something beautiful. This battle for the community center was only beginning, but would their newfound unity be enough to face the formidable challenges ahead? The next meeting arrived faster than Sarah expected. As she hurried down the streets, a mix of excitement and anxiety jostled in her stomach. It felt like stepping onto a stage for the first time, nerves buzzing beneath her skin. She wanted to make this day count. Inside the community center, the large room was buzzing with energy. Familiar faces, some she had only just met, filled the chairs, and the scent of fresh coffee wafted through the air. Sarah spotted Diane deep in conversation with Carol, their animated gestures signaling a stirring enthusiasm. Hey! Let us get started. Sarah called out, her voice booming slightly above the chatter. The buzz quieted as the crowd turned their attention to her, and for a moment, she felt a surge of confidence. Thank you all for coming back, she began, her heart racing. Today, we're not just gathering signatures, we're building a movement. The words ignited a collective anticipation, eyes widening with hope. Diane raised her hand. What about our proposal for the mayor? We should prepare a presentation. Yes. Someone chimed in, and soon ideas flowed again. They decided to outline their vision for the community center, how it had been a sanctuary for the neighborhood, a lifeline for those dealing with their own grief. The energy shifted to palpable optimism. Each person leaned forward in their seats like they were about to witness something monumental. As they brainstormed, Sarah took a step back, soaking it all in. She saw the familiar faces, tears and laughter interwoven, stories shared that forged a unique bond. It was in this moment that she realized this fight was about more than just preserving a building. It was about fighting for the essence of their community, for the memories it held. Emily and Jacob wandered in just then, holding up a colorful banner they had made that read, "Save Our Home." Their innocent enthusiasm melted any lingering tension. The sight of them brought a smile to Sarah's face, a reminder of what this was all for. "Great job, you two. We're going to need that." Sarah beamed, wrapping them in a hug. Then, she turned back to the group, their eager faces reflecting the same determination she felt inside. "Let us get to work on that presentation. We want the mayor to understand exactly what this place means to us." Excitement bubbled in the room like fizzy soda, and voices rose in a chorus of agreement. As the presentation took shape, doubts began to drift away, replaced by tangible plans and shared goals. Sarah felt invincible alongside these women and kids. They were building something beautiful from fragments of sorrow, turning pain into purpose. But just as momentum surged, a heavy cloud shadowed her heart. What if they were met with resistance? Would the mayor care what a group of grieving individuals thought? No sooner had those thoughts crossed her mind than a loud knock on the door echoed through the room. Everyone froze, glancing at one another. It was Sam, the community's skeptical voice, standing there with arms crossed. "What's all this commotion? You really think you can make a difference?" Sarah's heart sank as fear clouded her resolve. How would they respond to her challenge? Would they let doubt take root? But before she could speak, Diane stepped forward, meeting Sam's gaze head-on. "We believe in this center and what it represents. And we're willing to fight for it." The tension hung thick again, but this time, it felt different. It wasn't just Sarah who believed now, it was everyone. Would they muster the courage to face Sam's skepticism together? They stood at a crossroads, with the future of their fight teetering just ahead. Would unity hold strong in moments of doubt? Tension prickled in the air as Sam stood in the doorway, arms crossed tightly against his chest. Sarah felt the weight of everyone's eyes on her, their hopes pinned on this very moment. She cleared her throat, heart hammering. "We can make a difference, Sam. Together." He raised an eyebrow, skepticism etched on his face. "Together? You're relying on a bunch of grieving souls. You really think the mayor will listen to your cries?" But this time, instead of backing down, Sarah felt fire ignite inside her. "It's not just grief, Sam. It's love, connection, community. This place matters more than you think." He paused, the confusion flickering in his eyes. Around them, murmurs fluttered like restless leaves. Diane took a step closer to Sam. "You're part of this community too. What do you want it to be?" Sarah held her breath. It was a challenge, direct and unwavering. Would he see it? Sam glanced around, processing the faces he had known for years, faces that now reflected determination and hope. "I just think it's a long shot," he finally said, though there was less conviction in his voice. "Everything worth fighting for often is," someone chimed in from the back, emboldening the group. Sarah smiled, sensing a shift. Their collective energy surged, like a ripple across water, pushing back against uncertainty. "Let us show him what we can do," she urged. "We can put together an amazing presentation. We can gather stories, memories, photographs, everything that this place stands for." Those who were skeptical began to nod. There was strength in numbers, and the feeling grew like wildfire. Ideas buzzed like bees, voices filled the room, laughter mingling with enthusiasm. Sarah felt the momentum shift, buoyed by unity, a beautiful camaraderie blooming where doubt once lingered. As the brainstorming session deepened, Sarah caught sight of Emily and Jacob. They were sitting on the floor, drawing ideas for their banner. Emily looked up, her bright eyes sparkling with inspiration. "Can we add more colors, Sarah? Like the rainbow?" "Absolutely," Sarah replied, her heart swelling with pride. With each passing moment, the group's purpose solidified. They created a chart detailing every story shared about the center, its impact, birthdays celebrated, friendships formed, and lives transformed in the warmth of those four walls. It was more than a building, it was a second home, a nest of healing for anguished souls. Then Diane suddenly raised a finger, capturing everyone's attention. What if we invite the neighbors? Get their input, their stories too. Our fight has to show more than just our grief. It needs to be about the strength we gain when we come together. A rumble of agreement swept through the room. Sarah's heart soared. They could become a coalition of voices, a collective tapestry of experiences woven together by shared love and loss. But in the midst of hope, a shadow flitted across Sarah's mind. What if their stories weren't enough? What if, when faced with the mayor, they crumbled under pressure? Just as she was about to voice her fear, Sam spoke again. "I'll help," he said, and the room fell silent. "I've seen how much this place matters to everyone. Maybe it's time I finally let myself believe." Gasps of surprise rippled through the group, and slowly, smiles bloomed like spring flowers. Sam's journey from skepticism to support was a reflection of what they all hoped to achieve: a transformation, not just for their community center but for themselves. As the session wrapped up, their hearts were light, fueled by unexpected friendship and burgeoning hope. They made plans to meet the next evening, each person buzzing with responsibility and purpose. Walking home, Sarah's thoughts swirled. Could they truly make against the odds? And what awaited them at the mayor's office? But one thing was clear. This community fight had a heartbeat. It was alive, vibrant, and determined. Standing on the doorstep of her home, Sarah felt it pulse in her chest, fear mingled with anticipation. Tomorrow was the day they would step into the unknown together. Little did she know, the real challenge was just beginning. The morning sun peeked through Sarah's curtains, casting warm golden rays across her room. She sat up, the weight of the day ahead pressing on her chest. Today was not just another day, it was a pivotal moment for her community. With determination, she dressed quickly and made a quick breakfast, her mind racing with thoughts about their plans. She pored over notes from the brainstorming session, the words on the pages swirling together, becoming more than just ink. They were her hope, her dream for the community center. As she arrived at the center, the familiar scent of coffee greeted her. The room buzzed with activity, laughter echoing off the walls. It felt good. It felt right. Everyone was on edge but also excited. "Sarah! Over here!" called Emily, her voice bright and eager. She waved from a table where several others were gathered. The banner they had been designing stretched out in front of them, a colorful testament to their joint effort, and it made Sarah's heart swell. "Looks amazing, everyone!" Sarah shouted, rushing over. "Do you think we should add more stars?" Jacob asked, eyes wide with excitement. "Definitely. Stars represent hope, right?" said Emily. "I want the mayor to see our light." Sarah smiled at their innocent enthusiasm. "Let's make it sparkle then. We want it to be unforgettable." As they worked, the atmosphere shifted, palpable with the energy of a shared purpose. The room filled with vibrant conversations about stories they wanted to share, dreams they aimed to achieve. It felt like they were building something important, something that meant more than just saving a building. But amidst the thrill, a small voice inside Sarah whispered doubts. What if they were all just setting themselves up for heartbreak? The mayor's reputation seemed to loom over them like a dark cloud. She bit her lip, shaking off the anxiety. "Hey, are you okay, Sarah?" Diane asked, drawing her back to reality. "You seem a bit distant." "I'm good," Sarah replied, forcing a smile. "Just thinking about how we'll present everything." "Remember, we're in this together," Diane said, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We've got your back." Despite the reassurance, Sarah's heart raced. How could they ensure their voices would truly resonate? The memory of their loved ones weighed heavy on her, a mix of loss and love swirled inside her. As they finished their banner, the group began setting up chairs for a meeting. The excitement was thick in the air, but it was also intertwined with fear. Would they manage to convey all that the center represented? This was not just about saving a building, it was about everything it stood for: the laughter, the tears, the community that had emerged through shared pain. The minutes ticked by, each one heavier than the last. Finally, the time arrived. The group gathered in a circle, hearts hammering in unison, a wave of resolve washing over them. "Let us take a moment," Sarah suggested, closing her eyes. "Let us hold on to our memories, our purpose." They breathed together, a collective understanding passing through them. As they opened their eyes, a steely determination replaced uncertainty. As they made their way to the mayor's office, Sarah's heart thundered, a mixture of dread and hope coursing through her. With each step, doubts clawed at her. What if they fumbled? What if their stories fell flat? But just then, Emily turned to her, face full of innocence and conviction. "We'll do great, won't we, Sarah?" "Absolutely," Sarah replied, though a knot twisted inside her. With buildings towering around them, they arrived at the mayor's office. The imposing door loomed ahead, an uncertain future waiting just beyond. Would their voices ring true? If they failed, what would that mean for their community? Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped forward. This was their moment. But as she reached for the door, a startled figure dashed past them, and a familiar face appeared, a face that sent shivers down her spine. Sarah blinked, her heart racing. There, just a few feet away, was Holly, the girl who used to live in the neighborhood, the one who had left under circumstances they all whispered about. Holly's eyes were wide, darting between Sarah and the group, as if searching for a way to slip past them unnoticed. "Holly?" Sarah managed to say, her voice barely a whisper. Holly hesitated, the tension in the air thickening. Then, almost instinctively, she stepped closer, and Sarah saw the emotion flickering across her face: fear, sadness, maybe even longing. "Sarah," she started, but the words caught in her throat. The group turned their attention to Holly, curiosity mingling with concern. "Why are you here?" Emily asked, her voice gentle but firm. "I heard." I just wanted to see." Holly's voice trailed off. She looked at each person in the circle, as if trying to gauge their reactions, her expression torn between wanting to reconnect and being terrified to face the memories of what she had lost. "You were part of this community," Sarah said more firmly, her heart pounding. "We've missed you. Where have you been?" I needed to leave for a while," Holly admitted. "There were things I had to figure out." Her eyes glistened as the weight of her words lingered in the air. The atmosphere shifted. A sense of understanding washed over Sarah as she remembered their childhood, all of the shared laughter, dreams on swings, and the bond they thought would last forever. But Holly's absence had been a wound that never truly healed. "What if the mayor sees you?" Jacob blurted out, breaking the heartfelt silence. "Will it change everything?" Holly looked at him, surprise flashing in her eyes. "I'm not here to disrupt anything. I just wanted to see you all. I've heard about your efforts to save the center. It's incredible." Sarah took a step closer, feeling an urgency to understand. "It's not just a building for us. It's everything we fought for, everything we lost." Holly nodded, her voice trembling. "I know. I lost so much, too." She hesitated, swallowing hard. "I thought I could start over, but it turns out the past is never really gone. It lingers, waiting for you to confront it." The group exchanged glances, the weight of their shared experiences pulling them together like strands in a tapestry, torn but still vibrant. Sarah felt her heart soften. Holly was back, and with her, so many unresolved emotions. "If you're here, you should join us," Sarah finally said, her resolve strengthening. "We need all the voices we can get today." Holly's eyes widened, doubt creeping back in. "But what if they don't want to hear from me? I left, and they might never forgive me." "They may not forgive you," Emily interjected. But they might understand. That's what community is about, it's about healing together. A flicker of hope lit Holly's expression. For the first time, she looked more like the girl they once knew, albeit a little broken, a little lost. I don't know. It's been so long. Each moment brings a choice, Sarah said softly, her voice steady. You can choose to be a part of this again. Holly took a step closer, hesitation giving way to determination. Okay. I'll try. As Sarah led their renewed entourage to the mayor's office, she could feel the tension ebbing. Determination hung tangibly in the air as they reached the door again. Together, their paths intertwining, they were stepping into the unknown together. Just as Sarah was about to push the door open, she caught a glimpse of a figure lurking in the shadows, and a wave of foreboding washed over her. Who is there? She called out, her heart skipping a beat. A familiar voice whispered back, sending shivers down her spine once more. Sarah, it's me. The voice hung in the air like a gust of wind, familiar yet foreign. Sarah's heart raced as she strained to see the figure stepping out of the shadows. She squinted, trying to make sense of the silhouette. Tyler? She gasped, recognizing him instantly. He had been her childhood friend, the boy with the crooked smile who always had a way of making her laugh, even in their darkest moments. But he hadn't just left town, he had vanished from their lives completely, just like Holly. He stepped into the dim light filtering from the office, his expression a mix of regret and hope. I came back when I heard about the center. I didn't know if I could face anyone. Not after everything. His voice cracked, and Sarah felt the weight of his unspoken words. Holly froze, her breath hitching. You too. The moment felt impossibly heavy, seasoned with memories of laughter, friendship, and the sudden absence of both boys who had meant so much in their lives. Sarah felt the tension thrum between them, laughter of past days now twisted with months of lost time. We were a team, how could you both leave? Emily's voice broke, tinged with a sadness that echoed within everyone. You were both a part of our strength. Tyler rubbed the back of his neck, his eyes glistening. I thought by leaving, it would be easier. Protecting you all, I guess. But the truth is, he took a breath, collecting the scattered pieces of his courage. I never stopped thinking about what we lost and what we could have done together. Sarah exchanged a glance with Holly, feeling the flicker of coming together amidst the past's shadows. None of us knew how to handle the weight back then. But look, we're all here now. Together. The knot in her chest began to ease as hope slipped in through the cracks of heartache. We can heal, Sarah continued, looking back at Holly, then to Tyler. Every one of us carries our past, but together, we can honor it, face it, and find our way through. Holly nodded, the determination in her gaze rising anew. Yes. We owe it to ourselves and the community. We need to rally everyone together, we can fight for the center, for our futures. Tyler shifted on his feet, turning towards the door leading to the mayor's office. Nervousness clung to the air as palpable as their shared history. So, we'll face this, all of it? Sarah smiled softly, feeling warmth spread through her. One step at a time. We will face all those who tire of seeing us together, the whispers and rumors that haunt every choice we make. We chose to come back, that has to mean something. As they positioned themselves in front of the door, a tingling anticipation filled the space. There, in the balance of vulnerability and strength, they pressed forward, ready to challenge not just the mayor but their own pasts. Just as Sarah was about to turn the handle, an ominous voice called out from behind them. Are you really sure you want to do this? The question echoed in the stillness, sending a chill down Sarah's spine as she turned to face the figure, an unfamiliar face with two familiar eyes. A slip of darkness, waiting to shatter the fragile hope they were rediscovering. The figure stepped closer, revealing a sharp jawline and piercing eyes filled with a mix of contempt and concern. Sarah struggled to place the face. It belonged to someone from the past, a memory she couldn't quite grasp. A knot tightened in her stomach. Who are you? Tyler asked, stepping slightly in front of Sarah and Holly, protectively, instinctively. You don't remember me, do you? The stranger leaned against the doorframe, crossing his arms. I was part of that group, the one you all left behind. Everything fell apart when you did. Emily felt a jolt of recognition. Jake. You were with them. The name settled in the air, stirring a quiet mix of guilt and anger among the friends. Sarah could feel it, an electric pulse underscoring the weight of their past decision. We didn't leave you on purpose, she breathed. Things were too heavy then. None of us knew what to do. Jake chuckled dryly, the sound jagged like shattered glass. You think you can just waltz back in here with your pretty speeches and fix it all? We're not some sad little team waiting for you to save us. Stop, Holly said, her voice strong now. She stepped forward, past Sarah and Tyler. We're not here to save anyone. We're here to stand together. You think we just walked away from the memories? From the pain? For a moment, Jake's expression softened, just a crack in his hard exterior. But the anger quickly returned. You think coming back makes it all better? The damage you did, it hurt us. What would you have us do? Live in the shadows forever? Tyler's frustration poured out like a thunderstorm. We're back now, ready to face our history. This isn't about blame, Jake. It's about healing. Silence fell between them, thick with unspoken words, memories that neither group wanted to revisit. Sarah stepped forward, forcing the tension to shift. We need everyone if this community is going to heal. We can't do it alone. Imagine if we come together, can you see it? Jake hesitated, uncertainty flickering across his features. Can you really say that you're ready? Ready to face all the anger, the loss? I can, Holly said, determination ringing in her voice. We've lost more than anyone should have to bear. But now we're ready, and we'd like you alongside us. We're inviting you to heal, not making excuses. Why should I trust you? He challenged. Because we've been broken, too, Sarah replied softly, her heart aching with every word. We haven't forgotten any of you. Ever. We just didn't know how to come back until now. Jake's gaze darted among them, caught in a web of emotions. A flicker of longing danced across his tired eyes. He was tired of fighting, they could all see it. Fine, he said finally, voice taut with hesitance. But you better not screw this up again. As he approached, the air shifted, lightening the heavy atmosphere that had encased them. Sarah felt a wave of relief. Maybe this could be a beginning, not just a confrontation. Let us face the mayor together then, she said, her voice stronger now, filled with new conviction. Let us show everyone that we won't be divided. Not anymore. Just then, as they turned toward the door, another voice sliced through the corridor, deep and hollow. But what if the past isn't done with you yet? Everyone froze, eyes widening. The ominous promise of that voice lingered, hanging like a storm cloud overhead. A sense of foreboding crept back in, a reminder that their path was riddled with shadows yet to confront. The echo of that chilling voice lingered, filling the corridor with a tension that felt almost palpable. Jake stiffened, his face a mask of disbelief mixed with dread. What was that? He whispered, glancing around as if the shadows themselves were listening. Tyler glanced back, scanning the dim hallway. Did you hear it too? He asked, his protective instinct flaring again. Holly exchanged a worried look with Sarah. We need to get to the mayor, she insisted, but the urgency in her voice was laced with uncertainty. Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped forward, her heart racing. They couldn't let fear hold them back again. We didn't come here just to talk. We need to confront whatever that was, together. Jake shifted his weight. No one told me anything about ghosts from the past, he muttered under his breath, but he moved closer, drawn by the fervor of Sarah's words. As they walked towards the door, Sarah felt her palms sweating. Voices slipped through the cracks of her memory, reminders of what the past had done to them. Pain, anger, regret, emotions coursed through her like a wild river, but there was also hope. They stepped outside into the cool air. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows over their path. "The mayor will want to know we're back," Tyler said, trying to keep the tone lighter, but Sarah could see the worry etched on his face. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows across the street, a woman with dark hair and defiant eyes. Sarah's breath caught as she recognized her. "Lila?" Skepticism laced her voice. "Thought you could sneak back into town without me knowing." Lila crossed her arms, a fierce determination sparking in her demeanor. "You really think you can just fix things now?" "Lila, this isn't just about us anymore. It's about everyone," Holly interjected, stepping forward. "We need to unite, not stay divided." But Lila shook her head, doubt clinging to each word. "And what if the past doesn't allow that? What if it decides to rear its ugly head when you least expect it? You can't just leave all your judgments and choices behind." "What do you mean?" Sarah asked, the knot tightening in her stomach again. Fear flickered in her heart. Lila's words felt like an unraveling thread, dangerous. "The scars are deep," Lila said, her voice edged with sadness. "You think the mayor is just going to sit idly by? Those she hurt are still here, waiting. They won't just forgive and forget." "Then we fight," Tyler declared, his resolve building once more. "But we need to face them all together, and the mayor too." Just then, the same deep voice echoed again, pulling them back. "You think you're ready to face the consequences?" The breeze shifted, stirring the leaves, almost taunting them. Sarah could feel the presence of something darker, lurking just under the surface, ready to pounce. "What if things don't go the way you hope?" Lila challenged, her eyes searching each of theirs for answers. "We have to try," Sarah said, her determination hardening. "We can't just let fear stop us." As they marched forward, a collective resolve formed among the group. The past might hang over them like an ominous storm, but they wouldn't let it define their future. They stepped into the looming shadow of Town Hall, ready to confront not just the mayor, but their own fears, regrets, and the ghosts that clung to their every step. What was waiting inside, however, could change everything. And as the door creaked open, it felt as if they were stepping into a new battlefield, one that would either bind them together or tear them apart. What awaited them inside was a reckoning they couldn't yet fully comprehend. The air inside the mayor's office felt heavy, charged with unspoken truths and brimming anticipation. Sarah's heart raced as she took in the dark wood panels adorned with medals of honor, the portraits of past leaders staring down like watchers of their fate. Each step echoed like a drumbeat, a reminder of all they were fighting for. "Let's just get this over with," Jake muttered as they approached the mayor's desk, determination warring with the anxiety twisting in his stomach. "Together," Sarah whispered, reinforcing their strength. "No matter what." The mayor, an imposing figure with sharp features and an air of authority, looked up from a stack of papers. Her eyes narrowed slightly. "What brings you to my office?" she asked, her tone even but tinged with curiosity. Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions churning inside her. "We're here to talk about the community center and why it matters to all of us. We believe it can continue to be a sanctuary for healing instead of just a fading memory." The mayor raised an eyebrow, her skepticism palpable. "And why should I listen to a group that abandoned this town?" A collective inhale rippled through the group. The shadows of their past loomed larger, but this time, Sarah felt a surge of courage. "Because we're not the same people who left. We've lost so much, and we've learned that this community is stronger together. We want to make amends, not just for ourselves but for everyone who has felt lost." Holly stepped forward, echoing Sarah's passion. "We can't change the past, but we can create a future where everyone feels safe and supported. Our stories matter. They've shaped us." The center was a place where hope thrived. It held laughter and dreams and memories of those we lost. The mayor's expression shifted slightly, her curiosity beginning to flicker with intrigue. You think just sharing your stories will save the center? Yes, shouted Emily, her voice ringing with innocent yet fierce conviction. It's not just walls, it's everything we built together. We want it back not just for us, but for anyone who has ever felt alone. The mayor tapped her fingers, her gaze flitting over each of them. I'll need more than just words. I want to see the community behind this. Can you bring them together? Absolutely, Tyler said, stepping forward. We've already started gathering support. We can show you that the community stands strong, ready to act. Sarah felt an unexpected sense of relief wash over her. The mayor was listening. The air felt lighter somehow, and with each exchange, a flicker of hope ignited where shadows of doubt had lingered. I want numbers and a presentation, the mayor replied, her tone more serious. I'll also need to see how you plan to sustain the center without tapping into decline. We'll create a sustainable plan, Lorraine chimed in, her voice surprisingly firm. Fundraisers, events, everything to showcase the center's value. As they discussed potential solutions, Sarah's heart began to soar. This wasn't just about saving a building anymore, it was about claiming their voices, realizing their worth as individuals and as a community. After hours of conversation filled with ideas and passionate exchanges, the mayor finally leaned back, a contemplative expression crossing her face. You've given me a lot to think about. Bring me the community, show me that heartfelt support. If you can gather enough momentum, I might reconsider. The words held a weight of new possibilities. Thank you, Sarah breathed, barely able to contain the relief bubbling inside her. We won't let you down. As they left the office, a sense of accomplishment washed over the group. They faced the storm and emerged with newfound strength. Stepping outside into the fresh air, the sun shone brighter than before. Hope radiated between them, the kind that couldn't be dimmed by the ghosts of the past. Time to rally the community. Jake grinned, the sarcasm peeling away with a genuine enthusiasm surfacing. I want to see them bounce back. We can host a town meeting. Holly suggested, her eyes sparkling. Share our personal stories and get others involved. No one should feel alone. One by one, ideas flowed like the rising tide. Sarah felt a sense of belonging unfurling, the warmth of each bond stitching them closer together. This wasn't just about what they could achieve for the center, it was about reclaiming their friendship, their community, their strength. And so it began, their hearts intertwined, each step a testament to healing and transformation. They set to work, laughter filling the air, voices buzzing with life. Posters took shape, colorful banners sprawled across walls adorned with declarations of hope. Each word, each image became another brushstroke on the canvas of their journey. With every conversation and every face they invited to join, they felt their vision of unity unfolding, a vibrant tapestry woven from loss and love. It wasn't just about the community center anymore, it was about reviving relationships, rekindling old bonds, and opening their hearts to one another once more. As dusk painted the sky in myriad colors, the journey ahead looked less like a battle and more like a shared adventure, a chance to honor the past while marching boldly towards an even brighter future. And as Sarah looked at the lively faces of her friends and family, she knew they wouldn't stop until they had reclaimed their sanctuary. United in purpose, they were ready to face whatever challenges the world had thrown their way and transform it into something beautiful. It was time for change. It was time for renewal. And it was time to make noise, to share their stories, and bring back the light to their community. This was just the beginning. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending below. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to make a difference.